Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to today's Advisicon Academy training. My name is Leslie Pfau. I'm the Director of Marketing here at Advisicon. We are a group of authors, teachers, consultants, and technologists offering training in Microsoft technologies, project management, and methodology. With attending any of our training sessions, we offer PDUs as we are a registered education provider with the Project Management Institute. At the close of today's session, I will give some instructions on how to claim your PDUs and how to contact Advisicon for any questions you may have. Now, before we get started, I'd like to go over a few things so you know how to participate in today's event. Please review the control panel that should be on the top right of your screen. The audience is muted during the session, so in order to ask questions, you'll need to submit them in the questions window of the control panel. The webinar will be recorded and uploaded on the Advisicon YouTube channel for those who could not attend today's session live. Please note that any questions or comments submitted will not display in the recording, nor will any of your personal information be shared. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's instructor, one of Advisicon's great project advisors, Maria Fenn. Without further ado, I will hand this presentation over so we can get started.
Thanks, Leslie. Hello, everyone. It is a pleasure getting to present to you today. I am very excited about today's topic because I personally love using Visio for organizational purposes, for providing visual aids. I think it is a useful tool that should be utilized more often. A little bit about myself. I have a background in project management. I am a Microsoft certified professional. I am a OneNote and Visio expert. Also, a random piece of information about me, I love key lime pie. And the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because I've been thinking about it all week, and I really should just go ahead and go get some, but I thought I'd share that little tidbit about myself. So anyways, that's me. What we will be talking about today is what is new with Visio 2019. And then at the end, I'm hoping if we have some time, I'm going to be demonstrating some tips and tricks for when using Visio. Now, I'm going to start off today with a few questions sent out as polls to help mold today's content. First off, I'd like to know how comfortable you are using Visio. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 meaning you are just hearing about it today, 5 meaning you know everything that you need to know, and you are only here to learn what is new. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. And give you guys a couple of minutes to answer questions. Okay, I'm seeing some good, pretty even variety, it looks like. Seeing some learning to use it, some comfortable, some pretty confident about it. All right, give it a couple more seconds. I'm seeing only 80% have voted, so if we could get those last couple responses, that would be great. All right, 84%. Okay, so I'm seeing that the majority are comfortable using it, but like everyone, we have still room to grow, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and close that poll. And just for the fun of it, I am also going to share a second poll because I am interested in your guys' favorite desserts. Now, I got these options from coworkers here at Advisicon, and I'm curious, out of the list provided, what is your favorite dessert? Oh, fun. I'm seeing a lot of variety. Currently, brownies and cheesecakes are up for the win. Cheesecake is taking the lead, though I've got an even tie between key lime pie, ice cream, and chocolate cake. I'm gonna give it a couple more seconds for anybody else who wants to vote. Cheesecake is delicious, as are all desserts. I love dessert personally. Cheesecake is still in the lead. We had a couple people who, like me, love key lime pie. Ice cream is tied. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close that poll. Just some fun things to learn. That's really cool. I totally approve of all of your guys' choices. All right, moving on. So let's get started with the diagrams for Visio 2019. So in 2019, Microsoft is now offering new and improved diagrams. This year, they have started offering diagrams for, or revised diagrams for the organizational diagrams. Also for the database model diagrams, that's had some new features that you can now do. We have the wireframe diagrams, and those include a website wireframe diagram and a mobile wireframe diagram. There's also new UML diagrams, one for UML component diagrams, UML communication, and then there's also one for UML deployment. Don't worry, I'm not going to just go ahead and list through them. We're going to open them up in just a moment. But other than new diagrams, Microsoft has also improved their AutoCAD support. So for those of you who like to use AutoCAD, now for any version of 2017 and before, you can now import files from AutoCAD into Visio to use in Visio. Also, they have improved the AutoCAD scaling. If you are going to use this though, I just want to let you know, make sure to set a couple properties beforehand. Also, it is important that you confirm that your Visio drawing scale is set as the same scale as the AutoCAD viewport scale, but it has greatly improved. Thirdly, for AutoCAD, well, AutoCAD files now have increased their import speeds, and now there is instant shape overlay. So you can now work with AutoCAD files a lot faster. So as I'm sure some of you experienced, there were long delays when it comes time when using shapes over the CAD files, but now with the 2019 update, you no longer need to struggle with this. Okay, so up next, we have the demo to look at because I'd like a little more hands-on instead of just going through PowerPoints. But before we get started with the demo, I'm going to display some keyboard shortcuts. So I don't know about you guys, but I love keyboard shortcuts. I like sticking to the keyboard as much as I can. It just allows for a lot more fluidity between my movements in Visio, also in Word, Excel, Project. I'm a little bit of a keyboard shortcut nut. So I'm going to leave this up for a second. So you guys, for those of you who like to screenshot, and I'll just continue talking. The ones I use the most are Control-1 for the PowerPoint, the pointer tool, Control-2 for text, and then Control-3 for the connectors. So this gives you quick exchangeability between these actions. So if you're dragging and dropping and moving different shapes and you want to add connectors, switch to text, clicking them can take a little extra time, and sometimes you really just don't have that time available. So using these keyboard shortcuts allows you to flawlessly switch between the three options and get things done faster. So I'm just going to let you. Oh, also, for those of you who tend to make your own stencils or will copy paste shapes into your Visio, another great option is the Shift plus Control-1 option here. And what this does is it turns on the connection points option. So you can add connection points to your shapes. And if we have a little extra time today, I'll kind of go over that. But in the meantime, if everyone has their screenshots, we'll get started on the demo. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Visio. There we go. So here we have Visio, and as many of you probably know, this is the page that opens when you choose the Visio Desktop application. Now, if we look closer at the templates, you can see some of the options I talked about. So we have the brainstorming diagram is here. We have the organizational chart is right here. Now, if we look, we'll search other areas. We see a different wireframe diagram. This was the one that was here previously. I'm going to go to software and we're going to look at the other options. So if we go to software, we can see a majority of the other new diagrams that are available. We've got the wireframe mobile app, wireframe website. There's the UML deployment. Not all of the UML options are in the software section. And if you guys are ever interested too, if what you're seeing is not there, there's always the partner content. I apologize if what you're seeing is not there is not an actual statement, but if what you're looking for you don't find, you can always see if the partner content has some useful templates that you might like to try. So we're going to go see. So if you search UML, you can see the rest of the UML diagrams. You've got the deployment, component, communication. So as you all probably know this, you can just continue to search until you find what you need. Alrighty, back to the home page. All right, so I actually have each of these diagrams open in my window just to save us some time. So I have, for example, this is the organization chart. So as we can see, Microsoft has upped their game in the templates and they look great. So a big part of what the changes are for these templates is their look has been improved. They look better, they look cleaner, they look kind of snazzy with their little styling, as you can see with the color changes they have going on here. So we'll kind of flip through. That's the organization chart. We've got the brainstorming chart, which I personally find really fun with all of its fun colors and such. Then we have switch over. Oh, I'll get back to the database modeling chart. There's a little more to that one. Here's the wireframe chart. And as with this one, you can see everything you can click, you can color. So these things can change. You can move this, you can switch pictures. I don't really want that one, or I like this one, but what if it was a different color? So for the wireframe diagrams, there are obviously wireframe diagrams for your website or for your mobile phone. Microsoft has really stepped up their game with these diagrams. They look fabulous in my mind, and depending on your needs, they can be quickly ready for a presentation or quick demonstration. As I was saying before, you can click around. So for example, if I like, say, purple, you can just go to styles and do the fill. I want this purple. I want this to look the same as that one. We can just do format painter. And within seconds, we're already making it look a little more lively with all of the versatile colors. We can make this a light blue. And within 10-15 minutes, this could be ready to go. Now, if this isn't what you want your website to look like, or if you think it needs some different things, any item here can be switched out. It can be changed and customized. It's really up to what you want to do and what best suits your preference. So I'm going to scooch over to the mobile app. Far too many diagrams open. There it is. Perfect. So this one, same idea as the website wireframe diagram. So we've got your mobile phone right here. It's mapped out to how you want it to look on your mobile phone, and you can customize and change the colors as you see fit. You can move things around. I don't really want that square there. I want this text here. And I don't really want anything explaining it. They can click the link and they will see what they want to see, which is absolutely an option. These are meant to be customized. For each of these diagrams, I chose a couple options for the templates. You don't have to choose this one. They do have different varieties, and if you'd prefer, you can just use blank. And the benefit of using those templates, and even if just doing the blank ones, is that it auto fills all of the icons and shapes that you'll need for that specific template. So you don't have to go searching in more shapes to see, oh, I need some checkboxes. You can see right here, or you can go to, I need some maps and charts. That's great, and you can absolutely add those in, but by taking the templates, it auto-fills what it thinks you will need to begin with. And if you need more, then you can go get more instead of grabbing everything you need manually from the start. So I'm going to move on now to the UML document. So this is we need to go one more up. So you can now create UML component diagrams. This will allow you to show ports, interfaces, and relationships. So I grabbed the, yes, okay. And then you can also create a UML communication diagram. The UML communication diagram allows you to demonstrate the relationships lifeline. So you can see you've got the place order agent, you've got the stock balance, running the query, all of that. You're more than welcome to just move things around. I think this should be here. I think we need, this looks pretty ugly. Let's move this stuff around. Oh, that's not. Just shift it around and then can move things as you need them. And it's quick and easy. Having this already there can be easier than starting from scratch. And then if you don't like something, Control Z, or you can shift something and see what Visio recommends with auto align. It doesn't mind how I've changed things here. Or you can squish it all together. Or position. Position will also change things as you go and see. And if you don't like it, you can continue to make changes on your own until you are happy with what you see. So lastly, out of those diagrams, it's got the deployment, the UML deployment diagram, where you can now demonstrate how software artifacts are deployed to nodes. And as you can see, you've got the node here, artifact instance, all of these icons and shapes that you need for that diagram. They're all provided. Back to the database model. This one right here. The database model is the one diagram that instead of improving visuals, Microsoft upgraded Visio to reverse engineer an existing database into a Visio database model. So right now, as you can see, there's really nothing in my Visio diagram. I have it set to manual where I entered this information here for the employee table. But if I'd rather not do that, I can reverse engineer it by going to the Database tab, selecting Database Drivers, and then picking which driver I'd like to choose for that setup, which then allows you to reverse engineer the data. So, yeah. All right, Leslie, are there any questions at this point?
Here. I have not had any questions yet.
All right, well, we'll keep moving on to some tips and tricks then. Sounds good. So since we have a little time, I'm actually going to send out another poll because I'm curious about your guys' experiences. Have any of you experienced any of the following issues? And if it's none of the above, that's totally fine. It just kind of tells me where the need is. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that.
And I will say, Maria, while you're launching that, I did find a question popped up right after you asked.
Perfect. What do we got?
So if you want to, while they're doing the poll, we'll answer some questions.
Yes.
Marcia asks, how do you see the partner content?
The partner content for Visio?
The database driver, are those the only type of options available? Yeah. If I'm understanding her question correctly.
These are the default database options for Visio. I'd have to get back to that one. You've got different options, but these are the default and it looks like you can, yeah, you can definitely set up more. For the, I'm not entirely sure what she means by the partner content, but I'll be more than happy to follow up after this webinar.
Okay, maybe Marsha wants to reiterate on that again. And then another question would be, Kimberly, let's see here. Oh, she said the partner content was in the templates page.
Oh. Oh, I see. So can you re-say the question, Leslie, just to make sure I'm answering
Sure.
this correctly?
She wants to know, how do you see the partner content? And that was in the templates page.
Got it. Okay, so the partner content comes up with searches with what you're, so if we're looking at network, it comes with the different category options. So when I selected network, we've got all of the partner content for the network options. Or if I go back and we click flowcharts, that's where you'd find them, is picking the category that you want, and then you'll have access to all of that partner content.
Awesome. And then Kimberly asked, the database driver, are those the
Yes,
only type of options available for database types, or can you add others?
you can, it looked like you could add others. Let me open that up again. Those were just the default options, so you can definitely add more. So we could add, you could do a SQL Server, you can do a Microsoft Excel driver, text driver, Access driver. So it looks like you can, yeah, only connect to ODBC drivers. So do we have any other questions?
So just so you know that the screen was up, so she didn't see where you went to add the partner content, but we can come back to that after
Okay.
you're done with the poll without
No,
getting
that's
too
totally,
far away.
no, that's totally fine. All right, I will quickly go over the partner content again. So if we go back to that home page and we go to new, so if you click any of the suggested searches of network or software, it'll provide that partner content that Microsoft has available. So I'm going to close the, ended the poll. There we go. So the poll has been ended. All right, and I'm seeing some great variety on that poll. Perfect. Thank you guys so much. So for those of you who have issues keeping lines straight, I totally understand. Let's go back to, oh, that's not going to help because those are all. So we're going to go to, here we go. So let's say, doesn't follow me. The best way to help keep your line straight with these things is to auto align. So if you are using these straight connectors and you want to line them up, I'm just going to grab a new, we're just going to grab a basic flowchart that's going to make it a little easier to demonstrate. So if you are having it where you want to make this a straight line between data and start, the easiest way to do this is to auto align it. Another thing that would help with keeping your line straight and keeping things connected easily would be making sure your auto connect is on. And how to do that is to go to view, making sure your auto connect here is checked, then also going to file, options, advanced, and then also confirming that here the auto connect is in. And so if I don't have the auto connect, it's not going to automatically connect. The lines are going to you have to manually add the lines by going to Home, adding connector. But if you do Auto Connect, you then have the option to, I better put it back onto pointer. And it'll automatically keep the line straight. So it won't have some funky design. It'll just keep the shape right next to it. So something cool before, because we're getting a little low on time, something cool I wanted to share before we ran out of time is one of the template options that Microsoft has available, and that is the timeline template. So if we go to the timeline template and select any of the timelines here, you can actually, for those of you who use Project to manage your schedules, you can actually import your project schedule into your timeline for Visio and get a better view of what you want to see for that timeline. So I'm going to just open up, so we opened up the timeline template here, and then I'm going to go to Timeline, the Timeline tab in the ribbon, Import Data for Project, and then I just grabbed a project demo from project itself, the software development plan. You can open that, you can select it, you can do next, and you have the choice of what items you want to choose. So you can do all things, you can just import all information, you can do top level tasks only, milestones only. I'm just going to go ahead and grab everything and hit next and finish. Let's give it a second. Grab all of that information. Do we have any questions, Leslie, while we're waiting for this to import?
Yes, let's see here. Question is, how can you add attachments?
Ooh, that's a great question. Oh, clearly there was a lot of data in here. But as you can see, if there was a lot less information, you can rearrange it and have that beautiful timeline. So to add attachments, so it depends on what kind of attachment you're looking to add. You can always copy paste an image, copy a picture, or you can go to insert. You can insert online pictures. You can grab a picture from your desktop in the insert tab. There's also other things you can add as an attachment. You can also add links here. So you can add a hyperlink, which is one of the short keys as well. So if you hit Control, I think it was Control-Shift-K, you can add a hyperlink. I hope that answers that question. There are lots of different ways you can add attachments. So you could just do copy paste. You can do a screenshot of something. If you have a document that you don't like from Word, you can just take a snippet and copy paste that in. A lot of versatility with that. Any other questions before we end today?
We have a couple, but we'll have to get to them offline.
All right, sounds good. So that's all I have today. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and Leslie, I'll pass it off to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Maria. And thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. We welcome your questions and feedback. For more information, you can email us at contact@advisicon.com. Once you exit today's webinar, you'll receive a survey on the presentation. You'll need to complete and submit the survey to receive your PDUs. From there, you will receive a follow-up email within 2 business days for your PDU information. If you're watching this recording on YouTube or another social media platform, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads. On behalf of Advisicon, Maria and myself, thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you participate in future webinars. Have a great day, everyone.